Hi everyone, welcome to Practice Problem Journal Entry 03. This is going to be a long one. This is a series of journal entries, and as you'll see here, A through E, F through J, and finally K and L. So lots of journal entries to record. They're pretty straightforward, and so I'm just going to tell you, pause the video, try to go through the entire series, come back, and then I'll walk through them one by one. All right, welcome back. So here we go. January 1st, the company issued $150,000 worth of common stock in exchange for cash. So on 1/1, we are getting cash. Cash is an asset going up, so we debit it, $150,000. We are also issuing common stock. Common stock is shareholders' equity, also going up, therefore credit $150,000. That brings us to January 3rd. We signed a note to purchase a $350,000 building. So building is an asset, we're acquiring it, so it's going up. So asset up is a debit, $350,000. It says we're not paying for it now, we're signing a note. That's a note payable later. So by signing the note payable later, we are creating a liability called note payable. When liabilities go up, that is a credit, $350,000. January 4th, we used $12,000 in cash to purchase inventory. So right out the gate, it says we used cash. That's an asset going down. So that's going to be our credit in this case. Asset down, cash, $12,000. Why did it go down? Well, because we bought another asset, inventory, something we own, something that has value. Asset up. So inventory gets debited because asset up, $12,000. That brings us to January 5th. Purchased $1,000 worth of supplies on account. This is very similar to January 4th in the sense that we are buying an asset. In this case, the asset is supplies instead of inventory. So we have an asset going up called supplies, $1,000. Only this time we're not paying cash. We are agreeing to pay later on our account with the supplier. We call that accounts payable, or A/P for short, $1,000. That's a liability. When liabilities go up, that's a credit. That brings us to January 10th. Decided this year that the company decided this year it would give all employees who work during the holidays a $10,000 bonus. Now this one is a trick, because even though there's money involved in there, and even though there's a date, the fact of the matter is, on this particular date, where the company makes this decision, there is no economic transaction. There will be a transaction once those employees work, and therefore the company incurs the cost to give them the bonus. But as of right now, the employees could simply not work, and the company never owe them a dime. No economic activity has transpired. I'm going to erase my date, and I'm going to put a big NA next to that one. No journal entry needed on that day. Let's go to F. Paid for 6 months worth of insurance at $500 per month. Coverage begins on February 1st. Now that's a lot of detail in this one. First of all, the word paid. Whenever you see the word paid, that means cash out. And when cash goes out, that's a credit, because cash is an asset. And when it goes down, that's a credit. So 1/14, we definitely have a credit to cash. It's not 500, because remember, it says we paid for 6 months worth, and it's 500 per month. So that's going to be a total of $3,000, 6 times 500. And then it tells us specifically, and this is a weird one, coverage begins February 1st. Now, why does it tell us that if this is happening on January 14th? Well, the reason is because we have paid in advance for this insurance coverage. It hasn't started yet. And whenever we pay in advance for something, that creates an asset called a prepaid, or in this case, prepaid insurance. That is a service owed to us for the cash we paid. Therefore, that is an entitlement we have. It's an entitlement with value. It is an asset. It is going up. Therefore, it is a debit. And here is your completed journal entry for that one. That one's a tough one. January 15th. Performed services for a customer who paid $250 in cash. All right, well, we know the customer is paying us some cash. Cash is an asset going up, so that's a debit. And it says, why are we getting this cash? Because we performed services. Anytime you see the word performed, that implies that we earned something. We fulfilled some sort of obligation. And when we earn, specifically related to services, we call that service revenue. Revenues are credited when they go up, so credit 250. Next up, January 21st, received our first utility bill for $175. It is payable in February. So right away you see the word payable, you should be thinking liability. We're not paying it now, we're going to pay it later. And so we know we've got a liability going up, and that liability is called utilities payable for $175. Now, what about the debit? Well, remember, we got the bill. And if you think about the way utilities work, before you get the bill, you don't really know how much in utilities you've used, water, electricity, gas, so forth and so on. You don't know what you've used until you get the bill. And so while you're using those utilities, you're actually incurring the cost, right? Every moment that you've got electricity running, every moment you've got a faucet turned on, you are incurring the cost of that utility, but you don't know the price of it until you get your bill. So essentially now we know the cost that we've incurred related to utilities. Whenever we have cost incurred, that is an expense. So in this case, utilities expense is our debit. January 23rd, we paid for the supplies we previously purchased. Now let's go remind ourselves what's going on with these supplies. That happened right here on January 5th. Remember, we bought $1,000 worth of supplies, but we put it on a payable. We made a liability. We owe you later. So all we're saying now is we are paying off that liability. Well, paying implies cash out, so credit cash, $1,000. How do we make the liability go away now that we've paid it off? Well, remember, the liability had a credit balance when we created it. To make it go away, we simply have to debit it. That will make it go back down. So $1,000 debit to accounts payable. That brings us to January 24th. All right, January 24th. Performed $300 worth of services for a customer on account. So this is very similar to January 15th, where we performed services for cash. The only difference here is it's not for cash. They're going to pay us later. When a customer is going to pay us later, that entitles us to what we call an account receivable. So A/R, that's an asset. Asset going up is a debit for $300. We still did the job. Even though we haven't gotten the money yet, we still did the job. So we get to record the service revenue for that job. All right, that brings us to our final set. January 27th. Paid employees $15,000 for their current time worked. So whenever you see the word current, what that's implying is this was not time they worked previously that you created a payable for and now you're paying them off. What they're saying is employees have just finished working this cycle and you are paying them for that cycle. So you are incurring the cost of your employees working, known as salaries and wages expense. $15,000, expenses are debited when they go up. And since you're paying them, cash and asset going down, credit $15,000. And then that brings us to January 31st. Received payment from the customer who received services on account. So if we back up, check out that customer on account. That was right here on January 24th. They owed us $300. Now they're paying us. We've received the money. So what happens when we receive the money? Well, cash goes up, so debit cash. What was it, $300? $300. Now, a mistake I see students often make here is they'll try to record revenue. Oh, we received money, so revenue. But that would be an error because you already recorded the revenue. You recorded the revenue when you did the job. The only thing that's happening now is you've received the money and they no longer owe you. The account receivable is what represented what they owed you. And that had a debit of $300 in it. We need that to go away. How do you make that go away? You credit it, $300. If you think about your account receivable, you think about your T account, the original journal entry did this, debit 300. This new journal entry does this, credit 300. Debits and credits negate one another because one side makes the account go up, one side makes the account go down. Therefore, it is zeroed out. They no longer owe us. All right, that was a long one. Lots of transactions to consider, but I hope you found it helpful. Hope you found the explanations helpful, and I hope you join me for another problem.